What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and we've kind of fallen off the wagon on these things, and I apologize for that, but we're going to get back into it, and I think we're in the next 2 days we're going to finish these two up. I threatened to do that already, but we really need to get on this, so I expect a just absolute purge of these videos coming out over the next 24-48 hours. So, let's just get into it. 1-5. And, of course, we're going to build a team here that is predominantly made of units that are not, like, the level you would normally expect to go into an EX mission. But if you've seen prior, you kind of already know what we're going to go into here. And basically what we're doing is we're trying to take units that maybe are completely unfavorable and make them survive. Now, of course, to do this, we're going to be using this Haruhime's debuff and this Haruhime's defensive buff. And that's going to be really, really, really important that we notate that. Now, before I get in here, these units are low level enough. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this Haruhime to where Line is, and I'm going to move Line to where that Anakitty is. And she's going to bring in... Oh my goodness, this SD isn't even leveled up. We won't need that, though. It's not going to make that much of a difference. But let's just go ahead and do it anyway real quick. I think I may have recently gotten like a... Ooh, don't do that. There we go. Maybe recently I got a bond for her and threw it into her or something. I don't recollect. But neither here nor there. It's going to give us a little more HP, a little more something to deal with. But she's going to come in with a big physical magic resistance buff. That's going to be really, really, really important. Plus, she's got a really decent physical stat, and that is a physical unit. So let's go ahead, jump in here. We'll talk about what this team does and why I feel like this is an adequate situation considering what we're facing here. Now, this is an AoE team, so we do need to focus on AoE attacks. That's hence why we've taken the units here that we have. Now, once again, because my units are low level, I'm not focusing on the offense as much. I'm focusing on defense, and the reason I'm doing that is because, yes, while taking them out quickly would be helpful, do bear in mind that if you get taken out in the process, that's going to make your life a lot harder. So we're going to come out of the gate with Haruhime's big 40% debuff, and we're just going to go ahead and do our general buff stack. Now, the nice part here, nobody really has like any extra attacks. So let's see, that's agility and magic down 20%. That's not going to be that big of a deal. That's a mid-wind physical attack. So yeah, I think we're going to just keep doing that. So you'll notice here that I hate to say Wealth is, or not Wealth, Bet is kind of like deficient, but he really kind of is in this situation. Bet's not really the unit you generally would want to use here, but he's the win unit that I've chosen because he's level 60, he's recently acquired, and remember, Haruhime's SA is going to give everybody a big buff, so we could kind of live off of that. Now, we'll go ahead and do this. This is going to do status buff plus 2 turns as well, so everybody's going to get big buffs on these attacks. Let's decide what we're going to do with him, because I've not used this unit much. So, mid-wind physical attack with altering counter rate, so we don't get countered a lot. Heal 20% of damage, and then agility debuff. I don't think we need the agility debuff. I think we'll be fine with this, honestly. We can kind of do it and then get it out there and then replicate it, but I think we're just going to spam his skill 1, honestly. And of course, we're going to do skill 1 with the Winter Haruhime. Winter Haruhime is going to do a big defensive buff. You will notice that my Fire Haruhime, the OG, she's not really taking a lot of damage. That could hurt us in the long run, but let's soldier on and see where we get. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go back to doing this right here because that's going to continue healing Bet, and he's going to basically keep it on with that. I'm going to keep spamming this also with Fina, and yeah, pretty much that. Now, what's really nice, this removes strength, magic, and agility buffs, so we're really taking the wind out of their sails with this. But her skill 2 is really where it's going to be at. Now that we have an SA, we really want to kind of sit down and address how we want to handle our SA situation. Now, it is worth noting, Anakitty does not have the defensive buff from Winter Haruhime. And really, I don't think that's going to be a big deal, mostly because the defensive buff, as good as it is, she's +2. She's the stronger of these, I say 4 units, but 3 units that we're attacking with. She's a stronger one, so that's why I brought her in a little bit later. Her assist gives her a lot of health, so I'm not so worried about that. Plus, the OG Haruhime's 40% debuff is in play. So whoever's your strongest unit, put in the back, kind of like I did. Obviously, OG Haru would be better there, but we needed that debuff early because our other units are level 60, and they've got to survive. So let's consider what we're going to do here. Now, I can do skill 2 here, and I think that's going to be actually our best bet, and because that is a super class attack, that's probably what we're going to spam. Now, SA, obviously we want Haruhime's SA. Fina's, not so much. Fina's, I think we can ignore. Hers, remove status debuffs. I actually think we can do without that too. Bet, physical resist and wind resist down 40%. So yes, we are going to SA with Bet, and I think, honestly, that kind of tells us we're going to build up to a double SA and kind of go from there. Now, to be fair, to be completely fair here, I feel like Anakitty's SA probably would be the strongest SA, and if I was going to reconfigure this team, I would probably reconfigure the team to have Anakitty on the back, because I do want or actually, I could swap Fina and Bet, if I'm honest, because preferably, a better situation here would be to do a triple SA and have Anakitty attacking after Bet, but, you know, it is what it is. Either way, after turn 5 here, that's when we're going to start producing damage. Why? Well, as you're about to see, everyone gets 100% strength of magic, and we're going to debuff physical resist and wind resist down a lot. And since I would argue that Anakitty is our main DPS, I mean, she hits like a truck. Well, okay, she didn't hit that hard, but it is a super class attack. It does have, you know, some good properties to it. She still doesn't do any major extra attacks, but she's going to handle her own situation there. So, from this point on, she's going to be kind of like handling everybody's business, more or less. She's going to be our main DPS, and she's going to be the one we're most interested in basically keeping in play and keeping with SAs. So, if I was to rebuild this team, I'd actually put Bet in slot 2 and Fina in slot 4, but, you know, it's not going to be ultimately that big of a difference. Okay? Bet hit for 1.6-ish, or I'm sorry, 160-ish K, no big deal. Remember, he doesn't really get a win buff either. Like, he's just going off Haruhime's buff itself, so I'm not so worried about him. All right. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and everybody else is just going to kind of attack. We're just going to kind of soldier on here. Now, you will, like I said, start to see the health bar start to diminish a bit. I don't think it's going to get crazy yet, but we're working on it. We're working on it. All right. So we could do this, remove strength and magic and agility buffs, but honestly, I don't think we're at a situation yet where we're losing much by letting him buff, and we're getting counters. Whereas if their strength buff isn't there, I kind of wonder if their counters aren't going to... if we're not going to be able to counter. But some of them aren't buffed at all. It's really only old boy here that's buffed. So maybe... I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to let them go down this path and basically spam skill 3 as often as I can, skill 2, and then skill 1 with Bet. And then whenever I can, I'll SA with Anakitty, which is going to be this next coming up turn. Here we go. Now, I do want to once again emphasize, guys, this is not an S-clear team. This is literally just a, here you go, make it work kind of team. Ooh. Stun. I did outfit these units with breastplates, not with stun anklets. So that is one thing you do want to consider. Having some anti-stun on this team actually, as it turns out, would help. I wasn't aware they did ailments. So, live and learn. So if you want to know how to outfit them, give them their best weapons, but give them either stun anklets or put an anti-stun assist on the team. Now, once again, I don't think it changed much about the overall outcome of the match, but that definitely wouldn't hurt. Definitely would not hurt. All right. Let's keep going. Now, we don't like to see zeros when we're attacked, and that's why one of the main reasons that I'm not using Anakitty's skill 1 as often as I could, because when we see zeros, we're not getting counters. And when we're not getting counters, we're not doing damage. Anakitty has run out of steam, but if I'm honest here, I'm not losing sleep over that. She's going to SA, and that's going to be kind of her bag of tricks at this point. All right. Here we go. Boom. Maybe I expected too much. I expected a little more out of her. I expected a little more out of her. Why don't we work up to a triple? Let's work up to a triple and see what happens here. This is going to be a bit of a learning curve for me. So if I was going to redo this team, number 1, I'd put Bet in slot 2. Number 2, I would put an assist on here that gives some MP. That actually is a big change that I would make. These units I think are still going to be okay, but I feel like Bet probably could be replaced with somebody that's way better. Fina, if you have a better unit, could definitely be replaced. Though I will say Anakitty is probably somebody I would still throw on here. Like I said, I'm going to build this up to a triple SA. So let's keep soldiering on and see what happens here. Okay. And like I said, you do want to do AoE. And if you can help it, a little stun resistance definitely wouldn't be a bad thing. All right, we'll do that. And that. Let's go. Now, if you're wondering what's happening here, basically with Haruhime, we're running out of MP with her too. So basically, I'm rebuffing skill 2 twice, and then doing skill 3 twice, skill 2 twice, skill 3 twice, so on and so forth, just to keep, number 1, our buffs in play, number 2, her into MP so that we can keep her buffs in play. Pretty straightforward stuff. Hopefully it doesn't require too much explanation, but that's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. So in this turn, I'm going to go do 2 more turns of Yosuga, her skill 3, and with everybody else, we're just going to kind of continue down the path that we have been down since the start. But like I said, if we had some MP regen, that would be really nice here. Then I could probably get some more attacks with Fina and Anakitty. But obviously, if you have some of these units max them at broken, that would be the preferential situation as well. You definitely would much rather hit these units with max limit breaks rather than fighting an uphill battle with level 60s. Because as you can see, we're already turn 18 and kind of in the weeds a little bit. All right, so triple SA. Now, if you're wondering, we do not need to re-SA with Haruhime because we should still have our strength and magic buffs. They don't remove buffs on these turns, so we're golden there. Let's proceed. Okay, Fina did. Actually, she did. She had one of them for 200k. That's nice. Ooh, she got 268 on one dude. RNG's a little interesting here. Bet got. So they all hit for about the same, actually. So yeah, triple SA would be about the way to do this. Quad SA would be my... So if I was going to go back and redo this, I would redo it with a quad SA. Putting Bet in slot 2 and Fina slot 3. Because as you can see there, Fina actually will still hold her own, even though, you know, we're not seeing substantial numbers. Not by a long shot. But we're definitely, you know, seeing something here. Fina's got a bit of MP back. I can actually go do some skill damage with her. All right. And I'm going to build up to one more triple, and then we're going to kind of call it there. Let's do that. Let's do that. Boom, boom. So, is this preferable? Not by a long shot. But once again, I want to show you guys that these EX missions with a good team build and with some proper planning and all that definitely can, they're very, very, very doable. They're not as daunting as people seem to make them out to be. And frankly, like, you know, I have not found them to be much of a threat. Now, one thing I will say here, I did lose Bet's SA because I did Sheikah for too long, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It was an accident, it was a mistake, but is it going to affect the long run of the game? Probably not. I think a triple SA will still do it. But let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong in this. Maybe that is the straw that broke the camel's back. Who knows? Because they're definitely not doing crazy damage here. All right. Couple more times. We'll probably need 2 more turns to turn 25. Turn 25, maybe? Turn 26, most likely. We'll get that triple, and then we'll kind of go from there. Once again, a couple things that I've done, and you could probably, honestly, with this exact same team, with a more thoughtful build, I guess I'll call it, you could have easily ended this like 5 turns ago. So it's totally doable. You don't really have to like grind the way I've been grinding, but also bear in mind, like these are older units largely. They, like especially Bet, who's, while he did just get, recently released on the global version, he's a unit from basically the first year of the game. Fina's over a year old at this point. Anakitty's still very good, but she's not really designed to be a DPS, even if she is on our team. So you kind of have to be aware of your surroundings with something like this. But you do want to use a win team. I don't think physical or magic make much of a difference here. I'll double check, but I do not believe so. Let's see here. Actually, they are a little more resistant to physical than magic. So magic team would be slightly better. I apologize there. Though, to be fair, it's 10%. And at the end of the day, 10% is nothing. You can debuff your way out of 10%. But here we go. Triple SA, and this should be the end of it. Let's go. So a little bit of a sloppy run. You could fix quite a few things here. Just with slightly better team building. Like I said, Bet in slot 1. Maybe do a little more debuffing on the physical resistance. Maybe use some more magic units rather than the physical units that I've thrown on here. But I threw them on here because those are the units that I had at level 60 that I could justify putting in place. Ooh, I thought we'd be done. Hey! So it didn't make a difference. That easily would have been the last turn if I had Bet's SA still in play. So there you go. This is a long run. Like, I didn't think it was going to be this long. Now, I will say, when I come back and redo the S-Clear, you'll see how hilarious it's going to be with the correct team build. But for now, just... yeah. Very shocking, if I'm honest. Shocking that they lasted so long. Let's go. All right. Boom. All right, and we got one more. We can actually switch over and do single target attacks now. There we go. And Yosuga, and he's dead. Come on. Would you just fall already? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Man. Persistent little bugger, ain't he? There he goes. So once again, like I was never really threatened by this. It did go 30 turns, but it wasn't really like, they never really posed a threat to me. So once again, if you build your team right and you build it out properly, you can easily clear this and get your Ascension Falna. That's 1.5. I'll be back with 1.6 later on this evening. Like, comment, share. See you guys soon.